Hey, Jodhan. Happy birthday. A little late, I realize, at least for your gift. Um, but if you're seeing this, it means that you've received my necklace, the Two Bulls necklace. This is the Two Bulls necklace. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it in a minute. But this was my necklace. It was made for me when I was around 21 by a Salish silversmith that I met when I was working at the Capilano Suspension Bridge in North Van. And yeah, the origin of this necklace goes back really to my childhood. And I don't know if you know this. You probably don't, I'm guessing, but I had a tough childhood. Uh, my childhood included some abuse, um, some physical abuse, some emotional abuse, and some family dysfunction. And I learned to keep all that inside um, as the youngest in the family. Things were pretty crazy in my household, so it seemed like that was the best thing to do. It wasn't even a thought, the way that we react to things as children. We just find a path, and that was my path. And then as I became a young man, in my teenage years, and started to become more politically aware, um, it was just so obvious, that the world was a really messed up place, that like many leaders were in it more for their own power and were just kind of like older schoolyard bullies, really, just exercising their power over people and not actually helping people. And and so there was so much injustice in the world and so much destruction in the world. And I'm sorry to say that there still is, and that it's worse for your time. Um, but myself and people in my generation sort of saw this time coming, and you know, like your dad, have been trying to make change so that you could have a better future, so that we all could have a better future. But I didn't know how to be with the anger that was inside of me and the anger that was there from my family situation got expressed uh, in my sort of political view as well. Like everything felt as personal. All the injustice in the world felt as personal as what happened to me in my family. And so I felt things very profoundly. And all of that anger in me, it reached a boiling point, and I like couldn't contain it anymore. I was like having violent fantasies every day, like just walking down the street having violent fantasies about people, just like being so hurt and so angry and letting it build up to this point, not knowing how to deal with my own emotions, that I was having fantasies about like hitting men in suits just because they were men in suits, kind of thing. Like pretty vicious kinds of fantasies. And I knew that something had to change. Like I was out of control, or just barely in control. And did you know that I hitchhiked to Vancouver? That's when I hitchhiked to Vancouver. I left Toronto and I hitchhiked with a friend across the country. And I lived in Kelowna, BC, for a little while with some friends. And I met a an indigenous man at the like farmers market. He had a booth there, and we got to talking. And I asked him, like, with everything that's happened to your people, um, how do you handle that? There must be so much trauma and anger. Um, how do you handle all of that? Not just what's the past, but also like living out in the present. And he told me this story, and it's about a grandfather and his two grandchildren. And the grandchildren ask a very similar question. Maybe you've heard this story before. It's kind of a famous story that I've heard in different contexts that different cultures like to claim as their own, which is not uncommon for a certain kind of story that's told and told and told again. It obviously is a useful story for humans to tell. Anyways, the grandkids ask their grandfather, with everything that's happened to our people, how do you manage? And he says, I feel that I have two wolves that live inside of me. One that is full of love and compassion, and one that's full of anger and hate. And one of the grandkids asks him, well, which one will win, Grandpa? Which one are you? And he says, whichever one I feed. And about a year later, maybe, I had followed a woman to live in Vancouver from Kelowna and was working at the Capilano Suspension Bridge and met this silversmith there and asked him if he would make a necklace for me about these two wolves. And this is what he made. He made this two wolves necklace. And it's one wolf. And it's also two wolves in profile. So on the top, here's the eye. And this is the eye of the wolf that's full of fear and anger and hate. And his eye is clouded by that. And you can see that he's kind of frowning there. This is like his mouth. There's a tooth there. And a mouth that's frowning. And on the other side, this wolf has a clear eye, the wolf of love and compassion. And if you follow the mouth line along, got a little smile. Two wolves, but one wolf. Not sure how to get a good. Anyway, you have this, so you can look at it yourself. Two wolves, but really one wolf. Which one will you feed is the question that I was left with. And I wore this necklace for many years, and it meant a lot to me, sitting next to my heart. It was a reminder to me, having lived as that angry wolf and seeing the impacts of it in my relationships with family and friends and lovers, people that I wanted to be close to, and the effect of it on my own self, my relationship with myself. And so I'm passing this necklace on to you. I think it's a cool necklace. You said you are into silver. And and I also know that you've gone through and are going through hard things in your life. And I'm sure it's been more challenging than I can know, being Jodhan, and hard to have a mom that's not really around and available, and a dad that's super busy, both of them doing their best, but really hard, I'm sure, for you. And you're a teenager, and you're a teenager in this world at this time. It's a lot of hard things to go through. And so I want you to have this necklace, and I hope that it will have some meaning to you. And if you feel called to it, then I hope you'll wear it and feel that reminder against your chest to choose, to make the choice of which wolf to feed. You know, I care about you so much, and maybe in ways you have no idea about. But you were actually part of the healing represented in this necklace. You and I, the relationship that we had when you were just a little kid, was an opportunity for me to feed my loving wolf by loving you. As embarrassing as that might be to hear, feels a little funny to say to you as a 15-year-old. But it's true, and I still feel that way. I'm so grateful to have you in my life, and I'm really sorry for us falling out of touch. And I really love chatting with you, and I just want you to know that I'm here for you. If you ever need me or want to talk, and or just hang, as we've been doing a little bit on Snapchat. But if you ever need me or want me in a more meaningful way to connect, I just want you to know that I'm here for you. Happy birthday. I hope you're well. I hope golf's going well. I hope soccer's going well. Maybe you started playing basketball again. I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing else to say. Anyways, I wish you well, buddy. And I hope this is a fantastic year for you. And look forward to connecting.